Hey, what's up? My name is Payam, and if you're new to the channel, welcome. I create content for socially awkward guys who want to improve their social skills, start conversations with women or strangers, and ultimately find a genuine partner. All right, so here's what's going to happen in this specific video. I'm going to react to some shitty dating advice that's out there. And yeah, there's a lot. So how this is going to work is the following. I'm going to play the video, we're going to watch it together, and then I'm going to tell you what I agree from the video and what I disagree from the video, but it's mainly gonna be me disagreeing because I got pretty strong opinions about some of this content. Anyways, let's watch this first video and we'll go from there.
Bring these questions to the table on your next first date to lead less boring conversations. What's a rosebud and thorn from your week? What's the most surprising thing you've recently discovered about yourself? What's the longest lie you've ever lived? Where's your dream home and what does it look like? What's your most embarrassing fear?
Okay, first off, the word lie has a negative connotation. Don't even talk about lying on the first date. That is stupid, okay? You probably barely know this person. I'm assuming this, of course. Every situation is different. Why would you talk about anything that has a negative connotation? Because you're going to be associated with negativity. That means limit as much as you can about talking about your ex. Don't talk about lies, even if the way you're phrasing the question isn't about you lying. Just don't do it. Remember, people have several options out there. Unfortunately, that is the truth. And if you keep making mistake after mistake after mistake, these mistakes add up. And they're going to just feel like, all right, this isn't a good fit. They've sent some red flags. So stay away from any negative connotation words. Lying, stealing, taking from someone, whatever, okay? You want to do your best to make a positive first impression. You can only make a first impression once, as the saying goes, or whatever the saying is, right? So instead, if you want to stray away from boring questions, then just don't ask boring questions. Ask questions with energy. So let me give you an example. Because you can make any question exciting. I'll show you. So what are you up to this week? Hey, what do you got going on this week? Are you doing anything exciting? Same question, different style, different energy. I'm leaning in. I'm a little bit more animated. That is the number one thing you can do to not be boring with first date questions. Also, she said something about a rose, bud, and thorn. I don't even know. I've never even heard of that phrase, so I don't even know what that means. Don't ask anything that's confusing. Remember, it's your first date. Keep it light, keep it simple. Follow the 3 Ps. Be pleasant, be positive, and be playful. If you do that, you'll be fine. Let's go to the second video.
This is very, very powerful. And people that are very good naturally do this. And people that kind of aren't, just put in a bit too much energy. They ask a question. They're scared of the interaction going quiet. They're scared of that awkward pause. The awkward pause is actually extremely powerful. It creates tension. A lot of attraction isn't what you say. It isn't having the best conversation ever. It's the subtle little bit of eye contact. It's touch. It's kind of just being chill. And so even if you're on a date and you can put yourself more next to her and get a bit of touch, it's called kino. Kino is touch. A little bit of touch at the right time. It's good. But a lot of the strongest attraction isn't what you say. It's like how you carry yourself. And so you don't have to have some elaborate conversation and boom, boom, boom. It's actually a little more chill, creating that vibe.
I don't even know what this guy's talking about. He's talking about so many different things. Number one, if you're worried about kino, which is what he's talking about, and kino is an old school 1990s method where you want to try to touch the girl on her arm or her shoulder to make her feel attracted to you, to show dominance, to show that you are If you're worried that the only thing you're missing is kino, you're following the wrong advice. Forget about kino, dude. Forget about it. Then he goes on to say, you want that awkward pause. Okay. First off, I understand what he's trying to say. I just don't really like how he said it. Because what he means is, don't be afraid of a little bit of silence. Meaning that if you and I are having a conversation and I'm done finishing my sentence like I'm about to be in the next 3 seconds, then what you're going to do is the following. You see how I just paused, looked at you for a couple seconds? That's okay. Awkward pauses is a different story. Awkward pauses when you look at someone, assuming male and female, and it's more than 3 or 4 seconds, and you're literally like, shit, I don't know what the hell to talk about. You definitely want to avoid awkward pauses. He's saying you want them. I disagree. You want to avoid them. Tension with a couple seconds of pausing in terms of breathing in between your sentences or switching topics or whatever, that's okay, man. You're human. You're not a robot to talk like this, and then after this sentence, we're going to go to another sentence, and then another sentence after this, and then we're going to go over here and then over there. You're going to sound like ChatGPT, so don't sound like ChatGPT. Otherwise, I'm so with this guy's video. I understand what he's trying to say. I'm just not really a fan of how he executed it. But again, everybody has their own opinions. My advice, definitely stay away from the awkward conversations, awkward pauses, I should say, as much as possible. 1 or 2 seconds of looking at the person, all that does is going to show that you're confident. That's okay, all right? Yeah, let's go to the next video. This one was okay.
Here's some alternatives to first date questions to help you keep the conversation alive. Instead of, tell me about yourself, try, what's something I couldn't guess about you? If you're thinking, your work sounds intense, do you have time for me? Say, how do you make time for your family and friends with so much going on? Follow 3-day rule to stop swiping.
Okay, what's something I couldn't guess about you? I'm a little bit torn on this one because I get what she's trying to say. She's trying to make the conversation on the first date exciting, right? But remember what we talked about in the first video. Should be relatively light. What's something I couldn't guess about you? That's pretty much saying, what's a secret not a lot of people know about you? I love that question. I kind of even like her question, but the timing is wrong. First date, you don't ask this type of question. Second, third date, after there's been established mutual interest, that creates safety, that creates comfort for her and for the dynamic in general. Then you can pry and be a little more deep with your questions in terms of what's something no one knows about you? How do you spend time with your friends and family when you don't have a lot of time going on? Even that one's okay. That's borderline. That's a family-related topic. You want to stay light around family-related topics unless they bring it up. Which in that case, they've established that they're comfortable talking about the conversation that's even deemed by some as private and sort of invasive in a sense. Then you can go ahead and talk about it. In fact, that's what I would recommend, is if you're on the fence about certain subjects, keep them light. If she brings them up, then that is the green light for you to match her level of the conversation in terms of comfort and the conversation topics, okay? So again, not that these are bad questions, but the timing could be better. I wouldn't ask any of these questions on the first date. Second date, third date, sure, with the caveat that unless she brings it up on the first date, then you can go ahead and ask, okay? Again, this video, meh. All right, fourth video.
Honestly, I've had a great time tonight.
If a girl doesn't want to kiss you on a first date, it's not going to work out.
Look, as a man, you want to focus your time and energy on women who are actually interested in moving things forward with you. If a girl's not down to kiss you on the first date, sure, maybe on the second or third date she'd be down, but chances are she's not interested and you're going to end up in the friend zone.
I know you might have thought the date was going really well, but if it was, she would have been down to kiss you.
And just to be very clear, if a girl pulls away from your kiss or says no, be respectful. Do not continue trying to touch her or kiss.
Okay, first off, I thought the guy was going to be giving advice, but I guess the girl was giving advice too. Whatever. And this is stupid advice. Let me tell you why it's stupid. So you're telling me that there's a 1-to-1 correlation between if the girl doesn't want to kiss you on the first date, she doesn't like you? That's just straight up stupid. That's what that is. This video and its advice is stupid. Let me tell you why. Many women have to protect themselves from being judged. Unfortunately, society judges women a lot. And what happens is women have to think about this. Men, on the other hand, don't. They could sleep with as many women as possible and they're just known as, they're guys. Women, they don't have that luxury. So many women have this rule embedded into their mindset. I kind of don't blame them. And so they fear being judged. I'm just giving an example, by the way. They fear being judged. So even if they may want to kiss you, they may not because they don't want to be judged by you, especially if they like you. In fact, most women that really, really like you, they won't even want to sleep with you early on. They would want to wait because they see that there may be potential with you. You see how that's counterintuitive? This is uneducated advice. This is simple, too simple of advice. Don't worry if you don't kiss on the first date. In fact, I would recommend you don't make a move on the first date. Show that you're not just trying to get laid. Remember, you're a guy that is intelligent, you're thoughtful, you want to learn, you want to grow, you ultimately want to find that perfect partner, your partner in crime, that companion that you can invite to your parents' house, right? This is what you want. Why would you even go for a kiss on the first date? And why would you use that as a measuring stick in terms of, is the date going well? That's stupid. Don't do that. Not a fan of this advice. By the way, if you're enjoying this content, you like my style, my opinions, do me a favor, hit subscribe. That really lets me know that you're enjoying the content. I'm doing my best to create a lot of content and value for you. So hit subscribe if you're enjoying it. And yeah, I really appreciate it. Let's go to the fifth and final video.
If you are a man that has a date coming up, I need you to talk significantly less than you usually talk on that date. Now, this is going to sound counterintuitive because you're probably sitting there thinking, I want to impress her. I want to tell her everything amazing about me. I want to convey how intelligent and humorous I really am. But here's the thing. When you ask the right questions, you're inevitably going to be listening more than you're talking, and questions control the outcome of the conversation because you're driving the topics. The second thing this is going to allow her to do is feel heard and understood because you're expressing interest in her, because you should be genuinely interested in what she's talking about. And the third and most important thing is, when you have the ability to sit there and be comfortable in silence, you show that you're comfortable in your own personality and you're not sitting there trying to entertain her. The date is to get to know each other, so allow her to ask you questions back and let there be some silence occasionally in the date.
I like how this guy's video is, first date, stop talking too much. But I couldn't even get a pause or break from the guy from the guy talking. He looks like he's trying to give meaningful advice, and I don't blame him, and I'm not trying to knock him by any means. I don't agree with the aspect of stop talking so much because remember, this depends on who you are. You as a shy, socially awkward, maybe socially anxious, maybe a guy that doesn't have a lot of history. You want to talk. You want to show that you're confident. You want to show that you can hold a conversation. This is why general advice like this doesn't make sense, because you can't take advice from, this guy may have well intentions and may have good advice. I don't know him. But you can't take advice from somebody like this and then somebody from me and then mix the two. That's called the committee approach. That's you getting advice from everybody and thinking, okay, I'm going to just combine all of this and I'm going to be better. Look, you don't even have to get advice from me. I'm just saying you need to follow a pattern of advice that matches who you are and your personality. For someone like you that's socially awkward, you actually want to talk because you want to break through that barrier. You have a crippling fear of the conversation dying, right? You freeze when it comes to conversations. You can't think of what to say. So this advice wouldn't really apply to you. On the first date, here's what I would recommend in terms of how much should you talk? How much should you conversate? Generally speaking, if you're asking good questions, and this part I do agree with him, she will be answering, and the conversation will lean more towards her in terms of who's talking the most. It may even be that you're asking so many great questions that she's going to be like, oh my God, I feel like I'm telling you all about me. What's something about you? That's how you kind of know that you're asking good questions, if she says something along those lines. Generally speaking, though, because who you are is somebody that's anxious or awkward and you want to just get better, I would recommend that you don't watch videos where it doesn't match who you are, okay? You want to talk. You want to get to know the person. And you want to have breaks in between the conversation. Did you notice how fast he was talking? That's not a good style of communicating when you're on a date, all right? So talk, be yourself, be comfortable, couple seconds break like we talked about in the last video. That's okay. You don't want to go 4, 5, 6 seconds with a pause. Then it just shows you're not a good conversationalist. And that's something you want to work on. By the way, if that's something you do want to work on, you want to learn how to start and hold conversations, you want to be seen as interesting, check out my 2-page framework. You can get it from startconvos.com. Once again, startconvos.com. It's a 2-page framework where I walk you through exactly how to start a conversation with anyone. It could be a woman, could be a stranger, could be anybody, using only 2 words. I guarantee you, that's how confident I am in this method, that if you implement this advice, you're going to feel momentum. You're going to feel a surge of confidence, and that's going to give you hope. Okay? Otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. What are you struggling with? What do you ultimately want? Let me know that in the comments so I can create content for you. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm happy to react to more content if you like this style. So anyways, thanks again. I'll see you guys soon. Take it easy.